Dune 2.
I would say it was good, not great.
I actually am kind of on the same page as you. When I first left the theater, I had only criticisms, which is unfortunate. But it's mostly because, as such a big book fan, and like I've been rereading the book in preparation for this, that's the mindset that I'm going into this with. So they did make a lot of changes. The main thing for me that I felt all through this movie was the length. For some movies, like you buy into it so much that you don't feel the length. I felt it in this one. I was like itching to just like, can we take a break? An intermission, maybe? Did you feel that length, Felicity?
Yes, I surely did. I like had to stretch my legs out a little bit. I was like, okay. So overall, the acting was pretty good. I did have a problem, and it was zendaya. I just, I think that maybe she wasn't directed the right way in playing the role of Chani in this movie. There was a lot of conflict between Chani and Paul that I wasn't necessarily expecting in this. When she was acting all mad, I kind of got that whole Kayla Maroney vibe.
I expected you to say Mr. Willy Wonka himself as the person you didn't vibe with, because I remember in the first movie, that's a criticism that you had.
Actually, I thought Timothée Chalamet kind of settled in with the character. Actually, I didn't have a problem with his acting. I couldn't really associate with him in the first movie. I kind of felt more of his like struggle to grow up, struggle to deal with the changes that were happening, becoming Muad'Dib and a leader for these people, and also a lover for Shani, and also trying to realize his place in all of this. I kind of felt for him more in this. And I gotta say, I did change my mind a little bit because I had concerns about the chemistry between Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya in this movie. They sold me on it. They did sell me on the relationship. I just wasn't, as sure about Zendaya's acting in this particular role of Shani.
My problem is that I couldn't stop seeing her as Zendaya and not Shani. She kind of played Zendaya. It's just what comes with the territory of being such a famous person. The angles that they took were interesting choices. Denis Villeneuve, he definitely played up the Hollywood version of Dune. And it felt like they kind of created conflict, specifically in terms of, Jessica's character and Lisan Al-Gaib, all that stuff. That was in the book, but it wasn't as big of a thing. So I wasn't really down for that whole conflict plotline. Basically, she became the Reverend Mother, but then just becoming this huge religious figure who's like, I need to convince them that he's, Lisan Al-Gaib. She was more villainous than I expected, which was on one hand fun, but on one hand just so jarring. So initially, I didn't like that, but now that it's been a few days, we got some great memes, so all is well.
You know what? I'm kind of glad that you brought this up because I do feel like Rebecca Ferguson killed it as Lady Jessica in this. But did you have a problem with the parts where she was talking out loud to her baby? It just felt like weird to me because I'm just like, you have telepathy. Why did we have to see her actually talking out loud to the baby? That made absolutely no sense. I thought that was a bad move on Villeneuve's part.
I think that was there for two reasons. One, to make her look a little bit like a crazy person, or, just a Reverend Mother with all these voices inside her head, to really play into that side. And also, it did provide some exposition and knowledge for the audience as well, just to see, like, where her head is at. Like, yes, we need to make them believe. Who else is she going to talk to, right? Because Paul's not really talking to her for a lot of this. In terms of her child, I am glad that she wasn't born yet. In the book, she is already there by the end of it, and it would have just been weird having, a fully talking toddler who commits some crimes, I will say. It would have just been weird, so it's probably for the best that she hasn't been born yet.
We did see her in the future, and she's going to be played by Anya Taylor-Joy, which was kind of a surprise to people at the premiere when she showed up. So cool. Anya Taylor-Joy's got another role, and I'm sure she's going to kill it if they are going to do a Dune 3, which it probably is going to happen at this point. One of the things that really surprised me about the movie is how much I like the Harkonnens. When I say like them, not like them like I want to be their friend, but liked how they were presented. The artistry of it. I mean, we got the darkness, of everything. We got that shift to black and white from time to time with the filming of that. But we also got Austin Butler. Austin Butler really did it for me as Fade Rotha. When I was watching it, I was like, damn, you know what? If they actually did a show about the Harkonnens, I'd probably be into it. Austin Butler was definitely one of the high points for me in the movie. Also, Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen. I liked him in this role. Spoiler alert, he doesn't survive to the end of the movie. And I gotta say that one of my bigger disappointments, when I heard that Christopher Walken was playing the Emperor in this, it was one of those things that was like the meme. You had my curiosity, now you have my attention. When I heard that Christopher Walken was going to be in this. And then when I saw it executed, I was just like, oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. It was so Christopher Walken, and it really wasn't the Emperor. You know what I mean? I mean, his cadence, the way that he spoke, I was just like, yeah, that's Christopher Walken. That's not... He wasn't in the film very much. He didn't have a chance to make a really big impact, but because it was something that I was anticipating going into the film and just having it not be very pleasing in the end, it just kind of left a little bit of a bad impression for me. I think we could probably get to our ratings. So what did you think?
I wish it was higher, and I'm hoping that upon a second rewatch it will be higher, but as it stands right now, I think my expectations were too high, and I'm just so invested in this series that I have to give it a 7. So it's not bad, but it's not as good as I wanted it to be.
Wow, that is a lot lower than I expected. So now you actually have me rethinking my rating. I would give it a 9 out of 10. And you know that I'm not somebody that gives out high ratings. I still felt like as a package deal with the visuals, and the acting and everything and the story, for the most part, was good enough to hold me to a 9 in the theater. I did actually go and see this one in the theater. I didn't see it in IMAX, which I'm kind of glad I didn't. And the thing is that I don't feel like I need to go and rewatch this one again. So yeah, I still feel like it was a 9, but I also feel like I still have Dune 84 at the forefront of my heart. They still haven't totally brought me on board with this modern day version of Dune. I love that film. And actually, now I feel like I really want to go back and rewatch it at this point. Surprisingly enough, that's where I am. So what are your thoughts on that?
Wow. I'm just in shock. Who would have thought going into this that you would have a higher rating than me? I will say that I do want to rewatch it. I did watch the first Dune movie the night before I went to see this in theaters, and it was just a lot of Dune at once, I think. So maybe in a different headspace, my rating would change. But as it stands, some of the plot points that they chose and the direction that they chose to go with this didn't vibe for me. But I'm glad that it did for you. That is awesome. So yeah, let us know what you all thought in the comments below. What rating would you give Dune 2? Be sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, I bet you have.
Look,